And welcome back to White Claw Wednesday, episode number 57.
Let's get these cracking.
Cracking open a mango. Ryan, what are you cracking open?
I am cracking open a ruby grapefruit.
All right,
cheers. Wow, so arguably you have the best one and I have the worst one. Arguably,
yeah, that is,
arguably.
I think that's an accurate statement for sure. So I got to ask first off, Ryan, did you watch the SuperBowl?
I did.
What'd you
but
think?
I mean, honestly, it was like, to me, it was a really good time. At least watching it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
But, I would always hope for a closer game, but I really, really enjoyed just seeing, Brady crush it as I was hoping for. And I knew, in the back of my head, I was like, God, Frank must be so happy right now.
You should have seen me celebrating the touchdowns that they were throwing. I mean,
yeah, I bet.
I think it was like the second or first touchdown to Gronkowski. I pounded my chest so hard in celebration. Even my parents were getting mad at me for how hard I was celebrating.
Wow, really?
But you know what's funny? I remember all our score predictions, and both of us were very off.
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember them at all, but I know we were far off.
So you guessed 29-23. You thought the Chiefs were going to win 29-23. And I had two predictions. My one was what I wanted to happen, which was the Bucs 38-35 winning, and then my reality pick was 35-17, the Chiefs winning. But
right,
all three of our scenarios were totally off.
And I'm okay with that. I didn't really care to begin with. But the entire time I think we were talking about it last week, I think we were just like, or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember, but we've been
talking about it the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, just a little briefly, but we were talking about basically how we just wanted the the Buccaneers to win.
We were very much into the idea of Brady being 7 for 10 in his Super Bowl appearances, and now he officially is, and he. I was so impressed with the Bucs defense, and that was the X factor of the game. And I knew that going in. I was like, if the Bucs defense plays how they've played in the beginning of these playoffs,
right,
they got a chance, and they did exactly that. And Patrick Mahomes was scrambling like crazy.
I mean, that poor guy. Honestly, really. He was trying so hard, and some of the throws that he was making. I mean, it was like fourth quarter, And
yes,
he
had some ridiculous throws.
And mind you, the entire time I wasn't even counting out the Chiefs. I was like, you can never count them out. I think it was like 33-9 in the fourth, like starting the fourth.
Yeah, 31
it was
to 9
something
at the
like
start
that.
Of the fourth. Yeah.
And the entire time I was like, don't count the Chiefs out. Do not count them out.
Yeah,
I was like, it's a game. Like, this is a game right now.
That's what was fun about the game, in that even though it was, most of the times that would be seen as a blowout Super Bowl. But as someone who fears the skill of the Chiefs, I was just waiting for them to just turn it on and, get touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And it just never happened. They didn't even score a touchdown.
No, they didn't, which is incredible. I mean, if you look at some of the stats that were going around social media, I mean, it was like the first time the Chiefs hadn't scored a touchdown. I think it was all season or something like that. And then
it was probably for the last couple seasons, honestly.
The first time 3 former MVPs were beaten in a postseason, which is Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers, were all beat by Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Oh, and, true.
But to get back to Patrick Mahomes, I mean, the poor guy. He was, the fourth quarter started, and it almost seemed like their game plan was just go long, And I mean, they had to some extent, but also, they could have maybe played it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, some of the throws that he was making as he was getting tackled were unbelievable. I mean, those were nice throws. I mean, the one I think was right in front of what's his name, Kelsey's hands, and he dropped it, or it might have tipped the defender ahead of him, and he didn't catch it. But I was like, wow. I mean, they had chances in that fourth quarter, and all it takes is one to switch the mood, get the nerves going, or get the blood flowing. I mean, it was a good game, honestly.
There was one pass where he was horizontal. His body was horizontal as he was throwing it.
I think that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it ended up, it wasn't off Kelsey's helmet. It was, or maybe it was actually. It happened so fast I can't even remember. But you're right in that, like the guy had his hands up, but it like went and just boinked him right in the front of the helmet.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because I'm trying to think of that receiver. What he's thinking, is he so surprised that the ball was able to come to him? Like, is he not expecting the fact that pass is actually going to be made? So he's not fully
like,
ready to catch it?
No way this is going to come to me. And then he's like, whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
It's coming. Yeah, then he's like not ready for it. Yeah. And then Mahomes had another play where it was very similar in terms of running away and he's getting tackled.
Mm-hmm,
it was more to the left side of the field. And he had a guy wrapped on his waist and pulling him down by the waist, and he does this spin throw where he's got a guy on his waist and he's kind of doing this a twist motion, and he just chucks the ball with the spin motion, and he puts it perfectly in the back corner of the end zone where the receiver just misses it with his hands, and it was just crazy that he's able to
he is absolutely incredible.
Like he knows the spots to throw, and he's still able to put it in those spots when he's getting hit. But that being said, there were also moments where he missed throws. There were some throws that he missed where there were wide open guys and he didn't make the throw. So it was a night, I think, where he didn't have any of the help he normally had. Like Travis Kelce was doing good and stuff, but besides that, the other factors of the Chiefs game weren't clicking. So it really kind of exposed Patrick Mahomes. Because he was still making Patrick Mahomes plays, but his receivers weren't, picking up the slack in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think, he was making Patrick Mahomes plays just because he was, creating something. Like, it wasn't even a lot. He was just creating something out of, basically a sack situation, And, I mean, I think that's sort of the tell that they were not playing well. They couldn't protect. Yeah. They couldn't protect him. I mean,
at all.
The defense would always get through, at least on the important plays. And that puts him under pressure, and then he's running around. And I think one play he was running back. I think it was 20 yards, and then he just sort of chucked it to the sideline. So, I mean,
and then there was another play.
They played so good.
Yeah, and then there was another play where the Bucs finally Patrick Mahomes got sacked I think 2 or 3 times in the game, full sacks, but there was one sack that drew a foul, drew a flag for roughing the passer. And it was one where he had 3 Buccaneers tackle him. He had one guy on his legs, and then he had 2 big defensive linemen sandwiching him. And in the slow motion, I saw his head getting pulled back, yanked, and it looked so uncomfortable because
that's got CT written all over it.
Yeah,
dude.
CTE.
Is that what it's called? CT?
Exactly.
CT?
No, it's CTE.
CTE. Sorry.
Yeah, there's an E on there. And then another interesting stat about the game is
what?
this was Patrick Mahomes' 10th loss of his career.
That is incredible. I mean, he's been in it's his 3rd season?
This was his 3rd full season as a starter that he just finished. Yeah.
Wow.
His 3rd full season as a starter that he just finished. And he had started a little bit in his first year when he went in for Alex Smith. So yeah, he's played almost 4 seasons of football, and that was his 10th loss.
Yeah.
And then it was also not only was it his 10th loss, but it was his first loss by double digits in the NFL.
Wow.
Which is also very impressive.
That's bad.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I don't know if it's a bad on him. It's more of a good on the Bucs, I think, because they.
Yeah.
I mean,
it goes to show you that they shut everything else down.
Yeah, and they had the defensive coordinator, I think it was, on Zoom after, and they were doing the interviews and stuff, and they were asking him all these questions how'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? And he gave really simplistic answers, which I'm not criticizing him in any way because he did fantastic.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, give yourself some credit, you know? Like, I feel like he was staying, like, way too humble, you know?
Well, sometimes in positions like that, all you can do is, I think a coach stays very humble in winning moments often, because they realize, they're like, okay, I created this plan, but the athletes are the ones who made it happen.
Executed. That's very true. Yeah.
So when they're in the moment of, like, people are gushing all over them and saying, oh my gosh, it's just kind of like, well, like, I did what pretty much any coach would do in a way, and I coached the game, and my players, met me halfway and, did their job too, so it ended up being the perfect mix.
Yeah.
That's the answer I would imagine would be
well, I mean, let's talk about Tom Brady a little bit then. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we've sort of said it before, and I'm not even a big football guy. You know that. I think our
listeners know that.
Listeners know that. And, I always say, I'm like, every season it seems like this weird pattern where he does really, really well, and then people count him out for some reason, Like, he's getting old. Oh, my God. Like, how many times are we going to do that? How many times are we going to do that? Now, he moved to the Bucs. He's, a system player, or, whatever sort of name you want to call it. I mean, the guy is literally the greatest of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He has set a standard that may not ever be met.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's insane.
That's what's so... Yeah.
It is absolutely insane. I mean, the guy moved teams, brought a team that wasn't really amazing, and, like, obviously they got more players when Tom Brady was on the team.
Exactly.
They had Antonio Brown.
They just went
Gronkowski
for it.
Came back.
They got Leonard Fournette, that running back, number 28,
running
who
back.
was running people over yesterday.
He was doing really good.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier, I follow him, and he shouted him out because he's from Louisiana. They're both from Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just unbelievable, and I guarantee everyone listening will hear the same conversation next season about something else. Oh, the Bucs are having problems, Tom, or they'll say something about Tom. He's not going to be able to do it again, and it's just like, when are people going to learn? Like, when are people going to learn? This guy is going to do it again. He will do it again until he says, I'm done, And he just won another Super Bowl, and people were talking about him retiring like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, he should retire. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's definitely not done. And he recently said he's down to play past 45, so.
He's 43 or something? How old is he?
Yeah, he's 43. Yeah. And the oldest quarterback to ever start in the NFL was 48. So.
Okay.
He's still got some time to, beat that record, because I guarantee he knows about that record. It's just.
Wait, to start the NFL or to start in the Super Bowl? Is that what you said?
Just start an NFL game.
Oh, okay. He's probably going for the Super Bowl.
Not the Super Bowl. I mean, Brady has to be the oldest quarterback to have ever won a Super Bowl, but I don't even want to say that for sure, because I don't want to look like an idiot in terms of history, because.
Well, those stats are always hard to know, because it goes way back, and like.
Exactly. This was the 55th Super Bowl.
Like,
so
the early 1900s or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's funny to now think about, speaking about Tom Brady, is like,
what's up?
That it came out like a couple stories leading up to the Super Bowl about teams that passed up on him in free agency. And 2 of those teams were the 49ers and the Colts. And both those are interesting moves, because you have the 49ers, who just had the former backup of Tom Brady fail them when he needed to make a clutch throw to win them the Super Bowl. And then you have the Colts, who decide to grab Phillip Rivers, who I love Phillip Rivers, but Phillip Rivers never beat Tom Brady.
Ever.
Like, he never beat him.
Wow.
And the farthest he made it in the playoffs.
That's a tough stat.
Was the AFC Championship against the New England Patriots, and the Patriots beat the Chargers. And that was the farthest Philip ever made it. And the Colts decide, we're going to pass on Brady, but we're going to take the guy who always loses to him. And it's funny to see the Colts went 11-5, and the Bucs went 11-5 for the regular season. The Colts get knocked out in the first round of the wild card. Brady takes him to the Super Bowl.
And that's Tom Brady. There's no other there's no other variable there. I mean there's a bunch of variables, don't get me wrong, but the main parameter, the main thing in the difference of those teams is Tom Brady has won and gone through these post seasons like an animal, you know?
And it has to be a mindset to where if you're playing with him, you just want to play better. Yeah. Like it just you just feel like greatness, you know? It's like I'm being led by the most famous football leader of all time. Like
Right. It's kind of like in cross country
go out here and give it all.
It's kind of like in cross country when coach would be like running with us and you'd feel like, "Oh, I got to keep up," you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that but like times like 100, you know?
times a million.
Wait, maybe 1,000. I don't know. Just keep it going.
Yeah, like imagine if you're at a pickup soccer game and suddenly Messi's on your team. You're just like, you know,
I'm passing him dimes all day, dude.
Or you're just running opposite him, and the whole team tries to guard him, and he just boops it over all of them, and you just kick it.
Yeah. Or you just don't touch the ball ever, and he scores. Yeah, that's the game.
You know, speaking about Messi, it recently came out. Someone translated his contract into U.S. dollars, and it was like $600 million.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Jesus, man. And that's like his third or fourth with Barcelona now. So
yeah,
I mean, I can't. Is that per season?
No, I mean it was definitely like his full
contract.
Like his current contract that he's sitting on right now. It's going to cover that amount of currency, which is pretty wild.
He's on his last season.
Is he on his last season?
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
He had a player option, I think is what it's called, and he wanted to leave. But you remember talking about this, right?
Oh yeah, I do remember talking about this. Yeah, he had that clause in his contract that basically made him untradeable because someone had to pay a ridiculous amount of money to get him if they wanted to trade for him.
Yeah. But there's a clause in there also that says, a player option being, you can take yourself out of the last year of the contract, right? But I guess there's a date in there that stated he had to say something by like July or something. And the pandemic hit, and like, I guess the board wasn't being very cooperative, and he missed the deadline. And yeah, dude, it's bad. But
interesting.
I'd love to see where he goes next season. Honestly, I mean, I think he might end up staying, which is really like, really funny and frustrating for everyone who's following it. But
yeah,
I mean, we'll see.
Do you think if he leaves Barcelona, they become irrelevant?
Oh, dude, I think they're so bad. And I mean, I think they would know it too. I think they would invest in like a new project type strategy where they'll bring in like a bunch of young players, a bunch of bright new players.
They'll start a rebuild basically.
Yeah, like a rebuild, exactly. And they'll maybe, let some people from La Masia, which is their academy, get into the first team and stuff like that. So
Oh, is their academy kind of where they'll draft a player, but he's not good enough to play for them, so they put him in the academy to get better?
I mean, sometimes they'll do that. Actually, no. I mean, there's not really a draft, so
yeah,
it's really just you buy a player, and if they're young, then they go to the academy. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So let's say a UCR soccer player. Could a UCR soccer player get picked up by Barcelona and go to the academy? Is that possible or impossible?
I think there's got to be restrictions on age, and at that point, you're an adult, so I think you'd be under, like, the U10 or U20, U23, something like that. Like, whatever your age group is, you'd be on that squad. Because there's, like, the academy where, like, you're still a kid, and then there's the under-23 squad, the under-22, under-21, something like that, man.
So it would be more likely that if we had some phenom. Imagine like a phenomenal soccer player who's in high school, who's in America, and they're so good that they're just blowing up. Could they potentially be grabbed by Barcelona and instead of going to like UCR for college, they go to the academy you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, probably it's not possible because America doesn't produce a lot of youth like that. But hey,
No, this is what
it is.
I'm talking like, this is sort of kind of like the oranges that give you superpowers scenario.
So Frank's saying this is make believe, and I mean that would be great, and it would be possible. Yeah. No, I mean honestly, America has been doing really well in soccer, and we've got a lot more youth around Europe now. And I mean, the future's looking bright. The future is really looking bright. We'll see where it leads. I'm hesitant to say anything because America's track record is not amazing, but I'm really excited for the 2026 World Cup, which is in North America, which the United States is probably going to host most of the matches. So super, super stoked about that. We'll see where we're at. I think we make it to the quarterfinals.
Didn't we miss the last World Cup?
We did, yeah. Which is why I'm saying America's track record is not amazing.
That's a bummer,
Dude, it was bad, man. You know what's crazy? I mean, we have one of like the easiest, I guess you can call it a division, right? Because they separate you by like what part of the world you're in, Yeah. And so Europe is obviously like the hardest to make it through. And then
makes sense.
You've got CONCACAF, which is South America, North America, and then CONCACAF is just North America, and so I think it's North America. So we're playing against like Canada, like all those small nations down there. Like Mexico's another big one, who's probably better than us most of the time, but like Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama. And all those island nations, and the island nation that we lost to get us kicked out of the World Cup, Trinidad and Tobago. I had never heard of the country before, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it just goes to show how bad that was. Like the amount of money that's flowing through American soccer, and the amount of money being invested in development of these players, and we lose to a country that, I mean, probably doesn't have more than 10 million in, developing players. I'm just throwing out a number there. It was so embarrassing for the sport. I mean, one of the main guys that was like a commentator, he used to be a soccer player. I'm forgetting his name right now, but I mean, he would just, there's like these highlight reels of him just going in on American soccer. And it's great, dude. Sometimes I rewatch them just to like, either level myself out or like relive my passion, like I got to rebump it up.
Relive your passion for how much you wish America was more into soccer.
Yes. Or just like, you just want it to be better, and so you gotta revisit those low points.
Yeah. It's we have such a big population as a country. You'd think we could produce better soccer players, but I think it's all in,
and we're wealthy, man. I mean, that's just like, it's a big factor.
There's so many other sports to play and be great at.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And when you live in America, there's a lot of sports options. So
absolutely,
you have and often I see football, American football can sometimes steal great soccer players.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
like you have a
running backs,
you have a soccer player who's got a great foot.
Yeah.
They want to make more money, so they go to the NFL.
Yeah. Kickers, man. Kickers, that's true. I mean, in a lot of the, quick cutting and being able to like juke people is also a common characteristic with like running backs and wide receivers, tight ends as well. I mean, tight ends is more of following someone, but same concept.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan.
What's up, man?
I gotta ask you, because a big reveal happened on WandaVision.
I haven't watched it, dude. I'm sorry. Every week, Frank asks. I mean, for maybe the past like 3 or 4 weeks, he's asking. No, I haven't watched it, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do it this week. Okay. How many episodes is there?
There's 5 episodes right now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will watch it right now. I just got a lot going on, and then
Ryan, you could always do your thing where you wait for them all to come out.
Yeah, but that might be what I do, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong. All I'm saying is this episode that just happened, episode 5, has opened up a lot of questions in terms of the multiverse. Okay? Like, things are starting to get a little wild. I'll say, like, if I... Oh, man. A character came in at the end of episode 5.
Just twinkle toe through this right now. Don't give anything away, but explain it perfectly.
I'm going to try to tippy toe.
Okay.
A character, a recognizable character, came into the end, like showed up at the end of episode 5, and he was recognizable from a different universe, if you catch my drift. So
it has to be something we've already recognizable, as in we've already seen this person?
Like, we've seen this character, we've seen this actor play the character, but we see him appear at the end of episode 5, and we're like, wait a second, this is the MCU, not the, I
see.
Yeah.
So Frank just said that Iron Man comes back, everyone.
Far from it, but
dead giveaway, Frank. Come on.
dead giveaway.
That's awesome, man. I'm trying to guess in my mind who it is, but honestly, I have no. I mean, I could guess, but I'm trying to think of who we've seen that's not in the universe of, I guess, the Avengers right now. So.
Yeah, it's.
I've only got. I mean, okay, but Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the animated one, Spider-Man Miles Morales, right?
Yeah. What about him?
They had the multiverse.
Yeah,
but
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't get the name. But that is that linked with the MCU? With the cinematic universe?
I don't know on that yet. But interestingly enough, you're currently grabbing at a different universe than I was talking about. Think of another superhero universe of movies and characters that isn't the MCU.
Are we talking about DC right now? And are you hinting?
No, right. You got to think. There's a lot of Marvel characters, and different studios own different Marvel characters.
Oh, okay.
And some of the characters are owned by both studios and can be used by both studios.
So now we're talking about Spider-Man and X-Men, right?
Yes.
Is there another?
No, those would be Fantastic Four too.
Oh, Fantastic Four, that's true. Yeah. I should have got that.
But because you got because Marvel/Disney recently acquired the ability to use all the 20th Century Fox.
Right.
Superhero.
But 20th Century still owns them technically. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, they acquired them.
I'm pretty sure 20th Century Fox is pretty much gone. Like, it's not a thing anymore. It's capiche.
Cracking my second here.
Okay, good stuff.
Shout out to 20th Century Fox. Wait, you mean like they're completely bankrupt? Like they're gone?
Well, it's not that they're bankrupt. They got bought by Disney.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So all the entertainment, fictional entertainment properties of Fox.
I got you.
Have gone to Disney.
Disney owns them. Yeah.
So Fox still has its, Fox News and Fox Sports and all that kind of stuff. But all their movie and TV work was absorbed by Disney.
Man, Disney is becoming a freaking Goliath. That's not even doing it justice. I mean, that is insane. Disney's got 20th Century Fox, Marvel. They've got, obviously, Disney. They've got Nat Geo. What else am I missing? Star Wars.
They got Star Wars. They got ESPN.
Oh my God.
They got ABC. Yeah, dude, there.
Wow. I mean, oof, man. Monopoly.
Yeah, exactly. But pretty much, and another great thing about episode 5 is we're learning more and more about Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, and she is super powerful. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I thought she was, and this is what I love about a character who's been around and who's had a lot of appearances in different movies and stuff, is that we're reaccessing powers that I completely forgot about. Like she's right now in the show, Wanda is using the full scope of her powers, and she'll do something and you're like, wait a second, but then you like think back to like Age of Ultron and you're like, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. And it's just, and now she's unlocked a new power, which is what has led to this whole other universe thing happening. So now I'm thinking that she is the key to bringing in other characters from other movies that we never thought would show up. Like, I think she's the key to like bringing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine through, and basically to give an idea. And that's not even the character that showed up at the end, but that's sort of what the show is hinting at is going to be happening, is that she's going to be like kind of out of control in the sense of where she's going to be doing stuff that she doesn't even mean to, and it's going to fuck shit up.
It's going to mess things up. Oh, that's a good storyline. I like that.
And I think the person to try to help her correct everything is going to be Doctor Strange.
Well, it has to be, right? I mean, he's the only one that has sort of that knowledge of the multiverse.
Exactly. And that's why the movie, Doctor Strange's sequel movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is going to be tied directly into WandaVision. So I see the end of the last, because I think there's four episodes left of WandaVision. There's a rumor to be a secret, like a 10th episode. But I see these last 4 or so episodes leading into the Doctor Strange movie. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And AKA leading into all these characters that we never thought we'd see coming in.
Dude, I love how, I'm sitting here making fun of Disney for, like, having this monopoly or whatever, but, God, I love it, dude. I love it,
I know.
Like,
it's
just,
awesome.
like, a good... I mean, this relates back to the whole Twilight thing that we were talking about. We were making fun of Twilight because it was sort of bought by a studio that didn't do a good job, right? And shout out to episode 50 with my fiance Amanda. And Disney they've got control over everything, right? And I mean, you got to imagine that they have hundreds and hundreds of people working on, the lore per se, the story, and like, oh, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? I mean, it's beautiful because it just creates such a perfect, maybe not perfect, but such an intriguing storyline, and they've got plenty of experience doing this stuff. So they know. They know how to produce, how to build up, how to, get people interested. And I mean, man, you got to love it. It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. And I see a big difference in the way Disney handles Star Wars and Marvel. And I think it relates I think it relates to the fact that Star Wars was already established as a movie series.
Yeah.
That felt kind of already completed. When Disney got the Star Wars rights.
Yeah.
You already had what felt like a completed story, and it kind of felt like, okay, this was George Lucas's vision, crafting it. This is him, and I think that has led to the movies that Disney has made as being really entertaining because they're expensive movies made in the modern era, so they look great and stuff, and even the acting is pretty good. But in terms of story and like what we're journeying through, it feels like we're getting nothing new done, with the exception of the Mandalorian series, I'll say.
Right.
But besides that, like the movies that Disney has produced, I have fun with them, but I don't feel like we're accomplishing a lot in terms of story. And the opposite is true with Marvel. And I think they're able to do that with Marvel because Disney didn't always own Marvel, because when Marvel first started, it was like a Paramount thing with Iron Man and Hulk and that, and it wasn't until like 2013 or 2014 around there that Disney buys Marvel and stuff, and they continue this trend. I think that worked well because they're working with something that is already established on a multi-mind level. So you have just decades and decades of comic book lore that's written by all these different minds and all these different contributors, and you have all these different characters. And then not only that, but you have all these consumers, these kids growing up in the 70s and 80s and so on, reading comic books. They grow up, they become executives from Marvel, making these movies, like Kevin Feige, for example. He's like a comic book nerd himself who grew up, and he makes moves that the audience feels like they'd make themselves. And that's what I loved about the end of this WandaVision episode 5, is that I felt like I knew what was coming the whole episode. I'm like,
really?
Okay,
wow, that's really cool.
This character's coming, this character's coming. And then the character comes, but they did the flip. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, because they took it one step further. They took the character they took my expectation and they blew it. Is what it's mine, because it's like they did exactly what I thought they would do, but they did it the opposite way that I was ready for. And that opposite way opened up this whole other door, which got me so excited. I'm like, wow, we're really doing this. Like, we're really taking out all the action figures from the boxes, and we're just going to start smashing them together. We're going for it at this point. And I also see it kind of as a lead-in into Spider-Man 3. And they're bringing back Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Alfred Molina. They're bringing back all these actors from other iterations of the characters. So I see them going completely. We're like, okay, we're making the Marvel movies, we're making them like the comic books now, and that the universe is open, and you're either understanding what's happening or you're asking the person you're sitting next to what the hell's happening. So it's like,
what?
Yeah.
What boat are you?
I'm just so psyched.
You know, it's like that propaganda thing that the United States did in the World Wars, where it's the woman and she's like flexing and she's like,
oh yeah,
I forget what it says. It's something like, we can do it, or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says. It says we can do it. Yeah.
Or it's like Uncle Sam going, we want you for the American military. You know, it's like, what side are you gonna be on? You gotta pick your boat, man. You gotta choose now. Either you follow it and know what you're, know all the characters and stuff like that, because this is going to open up. I mean, they've been hinting towards this for a while. If you were talking about the multiverse and mixing characters, I mean, there's been hints and hints and hints. And it's going to open up, what is it called? Something box. Twilight box, or?
The Pandora's box.
Pandora's box. There we go. Because, they've built up this story so well. They've built up the character development, and I'm talking about phase 1, 2, 3 of Marvel. And if you don't know what that's basically everything up to
that ended with
Endgame, right?
Yeah.
So, they've built up this storyline so much, and then we only get that sort of multiverse taste. Well, apart from the animated Spider-Man Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse, apart from that, we only get a really taste of the multiverse and different dimensions right there at the end, And
with Endgame, you mean?
With Endgame, right at the end. So it really just sort of set everyone up to this like point where, like, okay, where do we go? It has to be the multiverse, Like, what else really is there? I mean, you can do, origin stories, which I'm sure there will be origin stories, and I'm sure they'll be great, but you can only go so far with that, right? So I just think they've developed it so well. If they threw out the multiverse to us, during maybe Captain America 2, I'd be like, what the heck is going on right now? Like,
exactly.
Get it out of here. Like, we're focusing on this right now. And I really feel like the character development, the storylines, everything has just been so amazing. And God, I'm so excited, bro. I mean, what a time to be alive. If you're not a superhero, like, fan of this stuff, I mean, it's totally okay. I mean, you probably don't like this podcast because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, yeah.
Like, what a time to be alive, dude. We're getting Star Wars. We're getting Marvel. I mean, all these things are just so great. I mean, it's so cool, man. It's so cool, and I'm so happy to grow up in. I mean, I'm happy to be a '90s baby, but I feel like I grew up in the 2000s in a sense.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man.
But it's cool to be like in that '90s window, you know.
Oh yeah. To be born in the 20th
kids that
century. Were born in the year 2000. I don't even look at them. I mean, it's like toxic. Just kidding.
I know. It's like, yeah, but it's weird to like hear someone like people, like people are graduating, college that were and graduating high school and stuff that were born in the 2000s. It's interesting to think about how far into this, 21st century we are, even though we're not even that far into it. We're only 20 years into it.
No, we're not. Yeah, well, what was crazy to me, what was surreal to me was when I graduated high school, some of the freshmen, some of them were born in 2000. And I was like, whoa, what the heck?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what's going on here? And then I had the same thing going in college. I'm like, wait, what? Like, nah, they can't be here, Like, what's going on, But yeah, I mean, honestly, we're closer to 2000 than 1990, so.
That's true. That's very true. And this year is the last year for 2021. I mean, it's counting up. It's I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's like 2021. Like it's a count up.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen until 21-22.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, okay. So the year
2021. I get you.
Yeah, because it'd be like true. If I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the year is 2021. It's like continuing the count.
That's true.
But this is a special year for that, and the next time that happens is a ways away,
Yeah. Also 2020. I mean, 21. That's never gonna happen. I mean, that's gonna happen in what is it? 101 years?
Yeah.
No, 100 years. Exactly,
100 years, yeah.
100 years. Yeah, man.
21.
But all that stuff, I mean, who really, it's like, oh, wow, cool. But, like, everyone lives through something like that,
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, we're in that year right now, though.
Hell it's yeah, like,
dude. We gotta make this one count,
Dude, imagine, like, have you ever, like, watched those videos? And it's like, where would the world be in 100 years or something like that? It's like, modern society, like, skin color will not be a thing. Everyone will be, a certain blend color. It's like, whoa, that sounds like so far in the future, And it's definitely clickbait. I mean, I'm talking about YouTube videos.
That has to be clickbait. And I think of it, that's the same kind of clickbait that was happening back in the 50s when people were like, oh, like back in the 1950s. I mean, not that I knew, not that I lived then, but
Frank was born in 1950. Actually, he has the key to. He took the red pill.
He took the red from the Matrix. Yeah. I imagine people walking around in the 50s saying, "Oh, think about the year 2000." They're like, think about the like we're gonna have flying cars. We're gonna have
dude, Back to the Future, Back to the Future, man.
Exact, Back to the Future. So there's been that. I think there's always this conception about what the future is gonna be, and it often ends up being something completely different by the time you get to that point of like, okay, this is what we predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like think about that movie Blade Runner 2049. Like we saw that.
Oh yeah, that was really overzealous.
Exactly. Like I don't think we're going to be there in 28 years.
That was like that didn't even make sense. It was like this big city and we had weird there was like AI lovers. And then the farmland was like desolate. I was like, where's everyone getting their food from? It was so weird how they set that up. Didn't make sense.
Yeah, that was a movie that I think we needed to have seen the entirety of the first Blade Runner too.
Oh, okay. Well, then there we go. Yeah, because
maybe be more into it. I mean, maybe not. I never made it through. I hate movies that this happens to me. It rarely happens, but sometimes I don't make it through a movie, And Blade Runner is one of those movies that I don't know why I didn't make it through it. Like I think I fell asleep on the the first one, the original one. I watched the new one with you, but the first one I remember falling asleep on the couch for, and I just never got back to it. But I do remember, Sam and Scott hating the one that 2049 because we watched it together.
Well, that's ridiculous.
But I remember watching it on that giant TV of yours, that 75-incher.
Oh, is it at my house? I can't remember this.
Yeah, that thing. It was your brother's 4K Blu-ray of the movie.
Oh,
and
yeah. I do.
Your brother and your dad had just bought those two 75-inch Vizios, giant TVs.
These were way too big, man. Like, who needs a TV like that?
And it's so funny. I love.
Like, okay, Frank.
Like in your living room, it's like not enough. Yeah. There's not enough space between walls to have a TV that big.
Yeah. Well, it's like we have this one wall in the living room, right? And it's kind of on the, like, if you picture my living room as a rectangle, picture it on the elongated wall, so the one with the larger area, right?
Yeah.
The TV is half of the wall, right?
Yeah.
And so when you have a rectangle room and your TV is half the size of the long wall, you can't put chairs in locations to where everyone can see the TV well. It's just like, it doesn't make sense, And so there's like two good seats where you can actually watch a movie and really enjoy it. And then there's like 3, 4, 5, which is like the other side of the couch, which like you're kind of at an angle and you're like, this is not really comfortable,
Yeah, it's like
too big.
It's so big that it's almost like a home theater.
Mm-mm.
And if you don't have, the sitting area, if you don't have it set up to be a home theater, then you're just going to get nothing but bad angles on the screen.
Right, exactly.
Because theaters are designed as theaters because the seats are put in a way where almost every seat that you sit in is a good, angle of seeing the whole frame.
Right.
With the exception of being in the front row on the far corners.
Even then, it's doable,
honestly just being in the front row anyway.
Yeah.
But nothing worse than being front row, far right or left corner, because then you're just like watching it at a complete weird angle. It's very strange.
And
that's how I
hurts.
saw. Yeah, your neck hurts. That's the way I watched the most recent James Bond movie that came out in 2015 called Spectre. I can't remember why I decided to sit there. I just did. I think the theater was crowded and I showed up a little late and I didn't want to deal with like cutting through people and asking people to move their legs and stuff. So I just took that shitty seat.
Nice. Dude, I gotta say something, man.
What's up?
Dude, I had a rough day today, man. Work was just, oh man, it was killing me. I was getting so frustrated, and like I kind of pride myself in keeping my composure, and not getting upset over things that I can't control and stuff like that. But today, baby, I was getting angry. It's like we have this release, right? That's upcoming, and as a developer, like you want to feel passionate about what you're doing. You want to feel like, okay, if we say this release is going to happen then, it should happen then, and we need to be organized and blah, 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 right? And I mean, I won't go into the details of what happened, of course, but, we should be living up to a different standard. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And so, of course, I'm getting frustrated about it. And, of course, like, I'm trying hard. I'm trying to, like, lead, try and step up and be like, okay, this is what's going on right now. This is what's going wrong. This is how we can fix it in the future. And, it's frustrating because you want to be proud of the product that you're presenting, especially as a developer, this is like, I create this. Anyways, dude, super frustrated after, and I just want to talk about, or just like put it out there that, like, the importance of having physical exercise in your life. Like, I realized this over again today. The importance of having physical exercise in your life is just, it's magical, man. Like, after work today, for those of you that don't know, I mean, actually everyone, we were supposed to record pretty much like right after I got off. It was like 5:30. And Frank was gonna eat dinner, so we postponed. And like I was so frustrated, and I was like, I'm gonna go. Like, I need to pump some iron right now. You know, like I'm not usually like that. Where I get so angry that I'm like, I'm going to the gym, and like there was only like 45 minutes, that we postponed or something.
Yeah.
And so I quickly went to the gym, and I quickly just got one of the most insane workouts that I've ever done in my entire life. And my God, did I feel so amazing after. I mean, I was fully ready to like come on here and vent about my day and totally down a couple claws and just totally totally bad mindset, basically.
Yeah.
And me going to the gym, getting that exercise in, just totally relieved everything, man. It just takes a weight off your shoulders. I mean, it is just so important to get out there. I mean, if you're stressed out or even if you're not, I mean, it's just so important to get that out, man. And I feel great. I feel great. I'm not even worried about it anymore.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you because you've proven it today with this recording. Because I wouldn't have been able. You seem normal as usual. When we started this,
now.
And since you brought it up up until you brought it up right now, I would have had no way of knowing that, your work day kicked your ass because, you pumped the iron, got it out, and dude, I feel you.
I did.
Yeah,
I mean, I was fully ready to come on here and just drink away my problems, and that's acceptable. Sometimes it's necessary, but
we've all done that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's fun, but exercise is better, and doing that just man, it's amazing. It honestly felt like you just get this. It's almost like you're so stressed and you just take it all out on these weights or on this run or whatever you exercise. Maybe it's yoga.
Yeah.
And it's like night and day, dude. And maybe I'm talking way too much about it, but Jesus Christ, it's crazy how getting rid of all that pent up energy and all that pent up stress just works. It works. I mean, it's insane. I feel great.
Yeah. I like to start my day with exercise, and
why don't you tell them about your routine, dude? Because I'm thoroughly impressed. Although I think I have my critiques.
I've made an adjustment to my routine.
Oh, right on.
I've changed my routine because I've decided to start working out with Sam and doing the kettlebells.
Oh, okay. All right.
Along with Scott. So
okay.
Actually, pretty much since you've left, I've kind of made a rotation to doing the kettlebells with them at the park in the morning, and on the rare occasion that we don't do that, I'll do like my normal set of stuff at home. But yeah, I've been doing the kettlebells lately, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. And I love just chucking things too.
Exactly, and there's something about once you get the form down on things, it just becomes. I like that it becomes just like every other workout, in that once you have the form established, the only thing that becomes a difficult struggle is working with the weight.
Right. Exactly.
Once
Dude,
once you have the form down, it's just the weight you're dealing with.
Dude, why am I like? Do you see me right now?
Why are you a shadow?
I am literally.
It's funny.
I'm like Spider-Gwen right now, like in the multiverse. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sometimes you're picked up, and then other times you're lost.
Oh, there you go. Dang it.
You're either a shadow or you're not.
Look at this, man.
I don't know what it is. Is it something to do with the light? Maybe I'm not sure.
It's got to be the lighting.
Yeah, it's got to be the lighting, and it's like different angles lead to.
I kind of like it. Look at that.
Yeah. No, I mean it. You look like a shadowy figure. It's very neo-noir.
Noir. There you go.
How's island life? Is it still good?
Yeah, man, it's really good. We've had some tough couple weeks here. Amanda's stepfather came home from surgery, and he actually had a stroke. So we've been sort of doing our best to take care of him. And all of Amanda's sisters are here. Uh-huh. So yeah, I mean, it's a different environment than you would expect.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, I'm busy, bro. I'm really busy. I mean, I'm working 9 to 5 Hawaiian, not Hawaiian time, but California time. Then I got school, and
so
I do
11
this on
a.m. to
Mondays.
7 p.m.
No. 7 to 3.
Oh wait, I forgot.
2 hours behind. Well,
subtract. Yeah,
ahead.
Not subtract.
One of those.
Yeah, we are 2 hours ahead. You're 2 hours behind. Yeah, okay.
Right. So I mean, I go on walks. I sunset walks. I mean, and that's on weekends I get to do some fun stuff, and yeah, it's been a blast. Honestly, I mean, obviously no complaints, and I'm having such a great time. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait till you guys come here and we can sort of actually like try and vacation. It'll be dope.
Yeah, I'm excited. How's the weather been in terms, like, are you really hot right now in the room, or?
Dude, I was gonna say something. I am so hot right now, Frank. I mean, literally, I feel like I'm 100 degrees.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be the perfect wrap up. As long as the weather
we
stays
can talk
like
about
this,
my sweaty body for hours. I mean, it really is that bad.
We could, but I kind of like this in that every time I think of to ask you about the weather or your sweat situation, it's always right about at the wrap up point, where it's
I gotta send you. I mean, maybe I'll send a pic to the boys. We'll keep it private, but I mean, I'm literally drenched in sweat right now. I mean, there's a sweat mark going down my chest as if I've been working out.
Wow.
So get ready, dude, because
Ryan
you're going to be sleeping in the loft. I know I'm giving way too much detail. Who cares? You're going to be sleeping in the loft, and it gets so hot up there, and I am so excited for you to feel this. I mean, I'm just so excited for you.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I'm going to see. I already sleep in boxers, so it's like I guess I'm already ready. I'll just do no blanket.
You might need to go commando, dude. The boxers might be too much.
I think I'm just gonna stand up. I'm gonna sleep standing up naked. I'm just gonna stand up naked and fall asleep.
Just hang from the ceiling like a vampire or something.
Yes.
All right, dude. Let's wrap this up, man. This got out of control. So. All right, dude.
Episode 57. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, listening, all that stuff. We love you.
Love y'all.
57.
Cheers up, brother.
Peace
Signing
out.
off.
Cheers.